If you want to make a living out of language teaching, well, you have to make money. And the only way to make money as a language teacher is having students. So how do you get more students as a language teacher? I'm going to tell you about two ways that you can do that, okay? One of them is the very beginning, how you get going. And the second one is how you amplify that and make it sustainable for your whole life as a language teacher. So the first thing you need is get one student. That's all you need. You need at least one so you can start practicing, getting experience. Like I said in my last video, go watch that, by the way. So you are going to have to get a student. How do you do that? Convince friends or family to come learn with you, even if that means they learn for free, okay? Because you're getting experience, you are starting out, you're seeing how things are out there, you are discovering yourself as a language teacher. So you cannot expect much. Just convince people to come learn with you. If you do a good job, if they like you, they are very likely to recommend you to other people. But we're going to talk about that later. The other way is to get your first student is work for a language school. The language school already has students. They are going to assign you to their students. So you're going to be able to get in touch with them. And so you're going to start knowing people, making some contacts, and eventually that student is probably going to leave the language school because in general, language schools are not great. But if they like you, they're going to want to continue working with you in the future. That's what happened to me. I used to work in a big franchise school here in Brazil in 2019. But in 2020, when the pandemic struck, the school kind of sent everybody home to work from home online for half the salary. It was a very bad situation for me. And many students were not happy with the situation as well because the quality of the teaching decreased a lot because the school was not prepared to handle so many people online at the same time. So what some students did was they reached out to me. They liked me, they liked my teaching, and so they wanted to work with me outside of the school. I'm pretty sure that the owner of the language school would be pretty angry with me for stealing a student, but if the guy wants to work with me, hell, I'm gonna work with them. And so I started teaching students that already had been in touch with me through the school, and they become my private students after. So that's one thing you can do. Go to a language school, strike up a good relationship with your students so that they like you, and when you leave the school, they leave with you. Or if they don't want to work with the school anymore, they still want to work with you. And all these two things, they work very well if you are in a place where these possibilities exist. Let's suppose you do not have friends and family, you do not have language schools near you. There is one thing you can still do to get students, and that is a website. There is a website that is called Preply. I'm not paid by this website, okay? I have never had any kind of relationship with them. I'm just telling them, I'm just mentioning it to you because it is an option for beginner English teachers, beginning language teachers in general. In Preply, you can advertise yourself as a language teacher to any target language you want, and then the students, they go to the website Preply and they look up the teachers, or even the opposite. Some students mention in Preply, oh, I'm looking for a Mandarin teacher. If you happen to speak Mandarin, you can make an offer. You can see what the student is willing to pay. And in that website is very interesting because lots of people advertise lots of different things in many different ranges. So there are some people who want to pay less, some people who want to pay more. Be mindful that if you choose a student who wants to pay you a lot of money, you have to make it count. You have to be good because they can evaluate you in their website. And if you're not good, you're going to get a bad evaluation. And that's going to really, how can I say, sour your relationship in that website. You have to be really careful with that. So 3 ways to get your first student, okay? So Preply, friends and family, or getting to a language school. But this is how you get started. This is how you get your first student so you can get going. After that, the fun really begins. Look, just like I said in my last video, you have to be good. Remember, that means being humble when you make your mistakes. That means being humble when it comes to learning new things. You have to remember that as a language teacher, you are an eternal language learner as well. I learn English every single week. I have had English as a second language for like 10 years. I have taught this language for almost 9 years now, and I still learn it more every single week. So it's extremely important for you to be humble, stay humble as a language teacher so that you can improve. You can only do the next step if you are humble and improve and become better. You can always be a better teacher. You have never found the perfect technique to teach. Your class is never perfect. Never. You have to be extremely humble so that you can become good enough for the next step. The way I have made my living out of language, the way I have been making my living out of language is through recommendations. That's it. I do not put one single cent into marketing. I have never advertised my job on Instagram. I have made some tweets about it, and I have gotten some students from Twitter as well. But the main way through which I get new students is recommendations. It works like this. I have a student, and I do such a great job with them. I make them learn faster, I make them learn better, I make them improve. Then they like it so much, they recommend me to their friends and coworkers and family too. And their friends and coworkers like me so much because I do the same great job with them that they recommend me in turn to their friends and coworkers and family. And I have a very nice example. In 2021, I enrolled into economics college here in Brazil. And there I met this friend of mine called Luana. Luana was, she did economics with me. That's it. She became my student. Then Luana recommended me to her mom. Her mom is a chiropractor, a very good chiropractor here in Brazil. So her mom liked me so much that she recommended me to two of her clients. One of her clients was Juliane. She is a personal trainer. And then she had tons of students. She was a personal trainer. She taught working out to these students, right? And so she liked me so much. I helped her get her objectives. She wanted to move. She wanted to do an exchange program in South Africa. And then I helped her when she wanted to move to Dubai for a while. I helped her through all that. She recommended me to her students. And her students recommended me to her friends and their friends and co-workers. That's how it works. One person, it starts with one person. It all started with Luana. Because of Luana, whom I taught starting 2021, I still have students derived from Luana in 2021, and we are in 2025 right now. That is the power of recommendations. Recommendations allows you to build almost like a network of people students you have taught who are going to remember you. And when they have a friend or coworker who want to learn the language you teach, they are going to recommend you if you do a good job. And here you have to see why it's so important for you to be humble, stay humble, and become better and improve as much as possible. Because they are recommending you to their friends and co-workers. That means reputation. If they recommend a bad teacher to their friends and co-workers, they are going to be upset. And your student is going to lose face if they recommend you and you are bad. So that's why you have to be good, because people only recommend good professionals. You see how important that is now? And by the way, that's how you know you're good. If you're getting students through recommendations, then you're a good language teacher. If you're not, you are not good. Doesn't matter what you think. You are not good because people are not recommending you. They don't feel comfortable recommending you to their friends and family and coworkers. That's how I have been working since 2021. All the students I get are through recommendations. And I'm going to put it on the screen for you. But I have had, I can pull it up here real quick actually. And then I'm going to put it on the screen for you. I'm just going to get the correct number so I don't say anything I'm not supposed to. Okay. Since 2021, when I started this journey as a solo English teacher, I have taught 100 students. 100 students over the past 2021, 2, 3, 4, yeah, now 2025. So almost 4 or 5 years, 100 students. Some students stayed with me for a large portion of that time. I have taught the same person for like 3, 4 years sometimes. No, 3 years because 4 is just now. So that's the possibility you have. 100 people over 5 years. That is amazing. An average of 20 students a year. 20 students is all you need. Sometimes it's more than I can handle actually. So you can, if you are good and humble, you are going to be able to get a lot of students through recommendations. It's an excellent thermometer. If people are not recommending you, you're not teaching well enough. Simple as that. And it's nice because many times a student is going to stop working with you, but because they recommended you, they are other students are going to get to you. And so like you lose a student, but you gain a student as well. That also get rid of that anxiety that ends up falling upon us language teachers, which is the anxiety of losing a student, right? Because it's a variable salary. If you lose a student, sometimes you can get hurt by that, and there's a whole thing. I'm going to make a video about that. But if you're good, if you are recommended by your students, you're not going to suffer that anxiety anymore. A student comes out, a student goes out, another comes in. It is an excellent way of working. I do not have to worry about marketing. It's so good. I love my job. So that's it. That's how you get students as a language teacher. First, you got to get your first student. Teach friends and family for very little or nothing. Get a job at a language school or access Preply. I'm not even going to leave the link of the website here. I'm just going to put the name of the website and then you go there by yourself. Preply, okay? Then after that, you have to be sure that you be and stay humble as a language teacher so that you can improve, become an excellent language teacher so people recommend you. If you're not good, people are not going to recommend you. And then you have to go through all those weird methods through which language teachers get students. They're going to make an advertisement on Facebook or Instagram. But the problem is that you burn through students very fast. If you're not good, the students are not going to like you. They're going to stop working with you. They're never going to come back, and they're not going to recommend people. So you burn through students very fast. It's not a sustainable strategy. And if you're good, even if there's a long time you don't teach a certain student, like there was a guy I taught in 2022, and I just now received a recommendation from him. He had classes with me for like 4 months back in 2022, and I got a recommendation from him right now. A girl, she came to me, that guy recommended you to me. Like I taught that guy for 4 months in 2022. He liked my work so much that he remembered me when somebody asked him to recommend an English teacher. That's how cool it is. You feel great when you help people that way. It's fantastic. So focus on that. That's how you get new students as a language teacher. If you have any doubts, if you have problems with that, make sure to comment here. I'd love to hear your experiences as well. Leave a like so I know you're out there. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next video. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and let's make a living out of language.